This is a tutorial on how to do the Dragoneel boss fight without any allies. You would typically do this fight in Party Planner Track 80% if you are using Spike, as this route does not get any allies in Goon Lagoon. The object here is when you get shells, you want to be able to throw 13 shells, which is pretty difficult. I've been wanting to make this tutorial for a while because I don't think it's as hard as it seems or is made out to be. I do have visual cues for it that'll go over, and different routes for grabbing the shells. Because in most scenarios, when you do this boss fight, you're grabbing 10 shells in cycle 1, and then you'll be able to throw like 13 in cycles 2 or 3 and 12 in, and then 12 in the other cycle you'd have not thrown 13 in. I have several footages of like each of the different routes of Dragoneel to collect shells, and I'm going to go over that because I see a lot of people when they attempt it get 9 a lot, and you should always get minimum 10, with one exception I'll go over later. So this first instance here, like grabbing the shells is pretty easy. Like just this will take practice or just to get a feel for it, but just kind of like follow what I do here, and whenever you see like this kind of shell formation, you want to do that every single time. So this shell formation is like I grab the first one in front of me here, and then I kind of make my beeline for this one. So like it's mostly like get the shell that's kind of closest, and it kind of follows like a natural path. So dodge a fish, and then from here, just grab the shell, and then there's like 3 shells like up there that I'll grab. In theory, I'll go back a bit. In theory, you could also grab like these ones at the end too. Like 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure, but it's best to just follow what I do. You get 10 every time if you follow that particular path. Oops. Then the next video footage I have. It's this one. Like it's good to keep an eye on like the beginning formations just so you know like kind of where to route. But it's kind of like the same idea here. Just kind of grab the one that's I pretty much like grab the one that's closest to me. And it's 10. But the most important one you want people to learn is this one. Like I mentioned, you typically throw 10, 13, 12 shells, but there's one particular formation where you could get 11 shells. And if you do that, you don't have to throw 13 at all, and it makes the boss fight pretty free. So recognizing when you're getting the 11 pattern is pretty important. Like right here, you see these 3 shells that are kind of lined up like this in Seizure. That's when you know you're kind of getting 11. So you got those 3. Then from here, you can go left or right. Both do work, but if you go to the left shell, then this cheap will kind of be in your way. You know, kind of like go around it, which is it's more difficult. It's a little tight. It's a lot easier just to go for this right shell. Then wait for the cheap. Then you kind of do the zigzag motion, end up with this shell, and then reach for that one. Here, same deal. If you go right, you have to like somehow go around the sea or and cheap to get that one. It's really difficult, so it's easier just to like take a left turn, grab the shell, then up here, and that's 11. And once you get 11 shells, you don't need it for 13. Just 11, 12, 12 works. You're good. Boss fight's free. Now for I guess the hard part would be throwing itself. I get to the throws. I guess I'll talk about the whirlpool. It's not much to really mention. The whirlpool will go in one direction, like in cardinal direction. It goes left, and then it'll try to correct itself to center. So now it's moving to center. Then that's it. It's really easy to dodge. Just stay away from it. And now for the throwing, the first shell you want to throw is when Dragoneel's head hits the water. And from there, I keep an eye on. I'll actually split on the video real quick. It'll probably be easier to show. So Dragoneel's head's about to hit the water, and that's when I shoot my first shell. And now, after the first shell, you want to look at Spike. Every time, like specifically his throwing arm, every time his throwing arm is raised, that's when I press A. Like, you could also wait to see the shell respawn in his hand, but like the timing is a lot more tighter on that. I think it's more consistent to just wait for the throwing arm to be raised. And every time that's raised, I press A. 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 And then it'll take practice. It's still pretty difficult, but once you like know what you're looking for and get a feel for it, you can do that every time. It's pretty easy. And that's pretty much it. That's Soul Dragoneel. I'm gonna end this video. I'm just gonna do the boss fight myself. Feel like some sort of live performance, I guess. Me doing it. So see what I get. Okay, well I got the 11. So you move here. Just follow that movement every time you get the 11 with that particular pattern. So this boss fight's free, but for the sake of this like demonstration, I'm going to purposely throw 9. That way I have to actually do 13 cycles 2 and 3. Ideally, you never have to do that because you should get minimum 10 every single time. Okay, well I shot 10. This is gonna be like... This is pretty much gonna be like your average Dragoneel fight. For cycles 2 and 3, grabbing the shells don't matter as much because there are so many shells. You should get 13 pretty easily. Like, if you look at what I'm doing, I pretty much got 15. Well, I kept the shell, so I would have had 14 for free, and I didn't really gather any shells. Like, my pathing, there wasn't really many shells on, so I was like, cycles 2 and 3 is very easy to get the shells you need. So this is going to be 12. Okay, so now I'm going to try to get a 13 at the very end. Like, in my opinion, I think the hardest part is kind of like when first shell, because sometimes I throw the shell too early. It's very easy to do that. Or if you do too late, then you won't have enough time to shoot the 13. And then shifting your focus from Dragoneel to Spike in a timely manner is also difficult. Especially early on, because his tail could get in the way if you're trying to look at Spike's arm, so... But it's not that bad. Well, like, once you know what you're looking for, and you should be able to do it pretty consistently. With some practice. I completely... That's exactly what I was talking about. Oh, let me try again. Like, that time, I shot the shell too early. So I just, like, completely messed up. That was completely on stage. I typically get this in a run about... Honestly, 90% of the time. Like, most runs that actually get that far kind of... just get through. Probably don't get the 11 like formation because I do want to show off like the 10 because that's the one you're getting more often. And missing shells in the 10 is a lot more dangerous. So okay, here we go. So always get the closest. I pretty much like follow the closest one. Yeah, just follow the path thing I do there. If you go on the right side there definitely gets you 9, I think. That was actually that rhythm there is actually really good. If I had the 13 shells, I definitely would have gone it there. So again, the whirlpool just goes straight in one direction and then it goes to the center. And that was it. That was like a very easy 13. Once I shot the shell properly on the first hit of Dragoneel, I got it pretty easily. Like, you're not thinking to be careful for, like, mashing too fast, you won't make it either. So that's why the visual cue is very important. Because you mash too fast, then like your shell won't come out. It's kind of like a timing thing rather than how fast you can mash. So once you get unless you get 9 shells, you only need 113. So in most cases, if you don't make a mistake, then this situation is basically where you'll find yourself in. And 12 is easy. You can just mash for free, or you could just time it. Even timing 12 is pretty easy. And that is solo Dragoneel. It saves around 15-20 seconds over the Bowser route. Just because not having to watch the ally cutscene as they come help you is so huge. No, that's it, so take care and good luck doing this in runs or practice.